Welcome to the Hip Hop Hustle podcast. I'm with a fantastic artist, the one and only Sosatruu, and he has been doing some fantastic things. Had a great start to 2023. You just released a single, Murder, and you also released your album Forever as well. I think it's a pretty big project, 16 tracks I was looking. So there's definitely a lot of music out there, and you've got the music videos to go with it. So man, absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Appreciate you for having me.
Well, tell me about that album, because I was looking at it and I was like, I can't remember a time where 10 plus projects was fashionable. It 16 is a big project. Like, I know the songs aren't all like 3.5, 4 minutes long, but still 16 tracks is a pretty long project.
Basically, my birthday number is 16. So like 16 always stood out for me. So I wanted to enter the year with something that was coming from the heart, something meaningful. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do something that I never did before. I'm gonna step outside of my character, my element, and just try something different and give the people more music. Cause like I got a lot of music. Like I got over 500 songs recorded that's unreleased. So it's just time to give them the music. And that's when I was like, you know what, we're gonna do 16 songs, bump it, and ran with it.
500 songs is so many songs.
Yeah, I got about like 500 songs recorded that's unreleased. Like I record 2 to 3 songs a day. I have to. It's really like a therapy for me. Like that's the only thing that allows me to express my emotion, how I'm feeling. That's like really like the mic, the only thing that I can really talk to for real. Like honestly, you know what I'm saying, without getting judged. So I record every day. I have to.
So when did you start? When did you start actually pouring your thoughts, your feelings out into the mic?
Man, believe it or not, I think I stole my first studio when I was like 12 from school, and I had it and put it in my closet at my dad's house, and I used to like stay up all night recording then. But like I started taking it seriously, I'd say probably like 3 years ago. When I came back home, I started taking music seriously then. But I always had music in me, you know, so.
What's funny is that like you say that now you rely on it to express. So it's like good and bad. It's like, I wonder what would happen if you didn't record. Like, I wonder how you would be mentally if you didn't record for, a few days, a week, 2 weeks. Like, what would that do you think?
It's more the fact of like, I'll be like out of line. Like my spirit would be out of line. Like I kind of be frustrated, or I kind of be standoffish, more into my thoughts, more overthinking about different situations that's going on with everyday life. You know, like when I don't record, that's basically the mindset that I'm in until I do record. Like recording is basically like the Garden of Eden for me. Like it's that escape zone that, you know what I'm saying, that I get to get away from life for a moment.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because I had this conversation with my brothers the other day, and we were talking about like creativity. And like for me personally, creativity is something that I need on a regular basis. Like whatever it is, like this is a form of creativity for me. Like I get to, spin the wheels, have the conversation, and then I also do some writing. Like I started writing every day this year just to just get that pen moving, like not in a hip hop sense, but just like let things out. And so we were talking about it, and I was like, I think everybody needs a creative outlet. Like I think when I look back on my life, the weird moments or the moments where I didn't feel at peace or aligned, as you said, were the moments where I wasn't creating anything. It was just like the hustle.
Yeah. I most definitely understand what you mean. And I don't know, it's crazy to explain sometimes, but mm, it's like creating, just like you said, it's a live feeling. It's a reinsurance to knowing that you have a purpose here, you know.
Yeah, I think it also lets you feel like, sometimes you question whether what you're feeling is real or not in a weird way. Like, I think, especially as men, like us as men, is like, are emotions good or emotions bad? And what am I, is it true? Or is it not? And I think just having an outlet allows you to express it and then think about, well, maybe I'm just being a little bit over dramatic, or maybe I am underplaying it, or whatever it is. So I think, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I wonder what it was like for for you growing up when people talk about creativity and expressing yourself. Like, do you think that was fostered when you were younger?
Yeah. Like from the jump, because like the people that was in my life, the people that raised me, they was creative people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just by the way, like my grandparents might dress or something. It stood out. Like I was just around that, to where it just rubbed off on me, to where everything that I wanted to do, no matter what it was, I just had to put my own sauce on it, my own twist on it, my own creative opinion towards it, just so it could stand out, so I can feel like this is me. This is what makes me different from everybody else. So yeah.
Was it the same with your friends as well, or did you feel like it was only familial for you?
Eh, I say yeah, to a certain extent. And then as I got older, like I started wanting different things in life. So my value or my outlook on life probably wasn't the same for the friends that I had when I was younger. So then my friends changed, or some might not still be around to this day, just for the values of life. Like I might take life way more serious than somebody else right now. So, but yeah, like I always, I don't know, my friends, they was very creative as well. They probably did music 9 times out of 10, and mm, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I just find it interesting that, like you said, like the people you were close to all had creative outlets or creative bones in their body. They just had this. And I think that, like, when I look back at my school, like when I went to school, I was like, I don't think they fostered that as well as they could have. And I wonder if, like, more people would do more creative things if at school they were like, hey, you need to do something like this in life about balance. Cause I don't think they teach that at all.
Nah, like right, nah, like that's the key though. I feel like if you can learn how to balance things, then you'll be able to get somewhere, or maybe your plans might be able to fully see itself out. Because like you have to have balance. You have to have balance, and I know sometimes it get hard because we living in a regular life, and you got bills due, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, you have to have balance with that piece, or that creative side that just allow you to feel like a child again for even a split second, because that's what's going to make you go even harder at your job or in the studio. You feel what I'm saying? So it was, I don't know, it was something that I didn't have to go and seek for it to create, like to create. I didn't have to go look for that. That was already implanted in me. So that's why it sounds kind of crazy sometimes trying to explain it, because I was born with that. But all I know is that's what keeps me going at the end of the day. Like being able to create, or hearing a beat, or being able to say what just happened 5 minutes ago that really had me down, or had me out my body, or had me crying, or whatever the case may be, and put in some words with a harmony, and then boom, now somebody else can relate to it, or somebody else going through the same situation, so they're gonna listen to it, or now we locked in. Now we feel like we connect. Why? Because we're going through the same stuff, just a different way, or a different path.
Yeah, I definitely think fans gravitate to a feeling more than just, a banger track. I think like a banger
Yeah,
is great because it gives big just let me change what I was going to say. I think a banger brings the fans in and they love a track, but the feelings and the emotion and the connectivity keep the fans to like
yeah,
stay with the artist. So the banger's like the entryway, but then the rest is like, can I identify myself with you? Is there something inside you that I can see inside myself?
true. Like you said, the banger is just the startup. It's the warm up. That's the attention grabber. Like who is that, or what he got going on? But like you said, now is can I relate to you, or you know what I'm saying? How you living? Is it close to my lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? Because like I always been an artist, but at the same time, I've been a fan too. So I understand totally what you're saying right now, and you're totally right on that part. That's how fans look at it. The banger just to pull in. But if you ain't got nothing to relate to nobody with, they're not really going to gravitate to it.
How do you strike that balance of giving
Just telling my
someone
life, just being me, telling my life story. Like that's all I know how to do. Like I'm just giving you what either I lived through, went through, or going through. That's that's it. It's a billion people on earth. I'm pretty sure somebody else going through the same thing, just in a different motion or a different form. You know what I'm saying? So I just be me. Like that's the only thing you can do. If you're an artist, just be yourself. Cause that's what's gonna make you stand out the most.
Yeah, I think in the weirdest way, being yourself is the scariest thing.
It is though. It is. And for the longest, bro, like I was I was scared to be who I truly was. Like, and that's what a lot of people fight with. That's the biggest demon I think that we fight with ourselves the most is being yourself. You're thinking somebody gonna judge you or say something about you or laugh at you because you like this or you want to do that. Man, just do you. Once you get comfortable in your own skin, can't nothing stop you. Can't nothing stop you. Cause you don't like nobody else's opinion matter.
So tell me about how you actually changed. Because like it's one thing to be, I hear it from artists all the time, be yourself, trust yourself. But that is a period of years that it takes. Like you don't wake up one day and Sosatruu is like, I'm just gonna be myself and that's it. And
No,
you never look back. So like, what was the evolution of learning to trust yourself and learning to be okay and comfortable in your own skin?
struggle, the struggle, the struggle, man. Like going through that fire. Like when gold is getting molded, it go through fire. You melt it down, you know what I'm saying? Then it's shiny at the end process. But you gotta go through that fire. And like that's what builds character. That's what builds like you. Because when you in that fire and you at your darkest moments, you find out who you really are and what you're capable of. And once you tap in on that side and that fear is gone, ain't no telling where you can be or what you can do. And like that's when I really was like, okay, you know what? I'm me. I've been me. I'm gonna stay me. And whoever don't like it, oh well, that's them. It
Do you
was
have
the struggle.
do you have a moment that represents that fire? Is there something that come when you were talking about the fire? Is there something for you that came to mind?
Yeah, going to prison. When I went to prison for the first time, that was like that was that fire for me. That was that life changing experience for me. That was like shit got serious. You know, you got to grow up. Some shit got to change, or you either gonna be in the grave, or you ain't gonna never get out of here. And that's what did it for me.
And so how long were you away for?
I was away for like 3.5 years, but yeah, and yeah, But we ain't gonna get too into that. We got to move around on that one. Yeah. Yeah, we gonna get too into that. Yeah.
Well, what I actually wanted to know is like, 3.5 years is a long time, but what always is interesting to me is the first day. Like, because I'm sure everything up till that point is surreal. Like, it feels like it doesn't exist. It feels like this can't be true or this can't be happening. But like, when does it set in? Like, when did it for you become like, oh shit, like this is actually real?
I don't know. That's something that's still still affects me to this day. Like it still sometimes gets me to this day. So like that's a hard one to say. I just know like I knew it was just time. Like it was time to sit down. It was time to change something. Gravitate to something. And yeah, what I did. But it allowed me to actually open my mind. I did things in there, you feel me, that I never did. I opened up books, I started reading and, like, getting back into my schools and stuff, gained certificates in there, came home and started, you feel me, doing my music, taking the music shit seriously, just trying to do something different. I said, you can't do the same shit for forever. I feel like if a person is staying the same way, the exact same way his whole life, ain't never changing, ain't never taking a risk, ain't never getting outside his comfort zone, ain't never escaping his little element, you feel me, then that's a waste of life. That's a waste of living. Like it's meant for you to go out here and travel and seek and do things, chase dreams, and that's I feel like that's what life is about. Period.
I agree with you.
So, yeah.
I agree. I think you have to change. So, but like, see, to me, the interesting thing about you is that the story of you is not that. You know what I mean? I think in the weirdest way, we as society and we as people is like we look at a small portion of someone's life and then we characterize them as that is who they are. That is
Yeah. Yeah, you most definitely right. Like, you ain't gonna never be able. I know sometimes they be like, you gotta try to forget the past or this, that, and the other. But to tell the truth, people don't forget the past, man. You know what I'm saying? They just deal with it as they go. But people really don't forget the past, especially if it's something terrifying. They never forget that. And I just feel like you said, whatever somebody in your life at that moment or whatever see at a glimpse of your life at that moment or whatever, that's what they highlight you as. And I feel like that a lot, but it's up to you to know who you really are. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Mm.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting the way like we deal with stuff and can't like put it away in our minds. Like obviously it still affects you of like
Yeah.
were you creating all the time? Like when you say in the past 3 years, that's when you like really leveled up. Was that like was that part of it? The like, hey, I'm still holding on to a lot and I
Oh
got to
yeah,
start getting it out.
mandatory. Yeah, that most definitely. That was a lot of it. Yeah, 'cause, um, yeah, that most definitely was. It played a big part of that. Uh, the things that I was going through in the midst of these 3 years of being out. You feel me? Me also having my daughter last year, her coming out at like 22 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so yeah, it's like when I talk about the struggle, that's just everything. Like I said, when my daughter was born, me and my baby mama, we lost it all. Like house, car, everything. We was admitted in the hospital and tornado came and hit the house while we was there. You feel me? So like I'm talking about struggles like that, like not having no help, being flat broke, got a fresh baby relying on you. You know what I'm saying? Got a woman relying on you, family relying on you. And it's just what you gonna do? Like all you can do is man up, go out here, grind, like put in the hustle, the dedication, the hard work. That's what I mean. Like them was the molding points for me as an artist. Like actually going through pain, going through prison, actually having to do 23 and ones for a whole year and a half, where I'm locked in a cell, you feel me, for 23 hours, only get out for 45 minutes, only can take a shower twice a week, once on the weekend type of shit. Like that's what made me Sosatruu as an artist. Yeah, that shit all was put into that pain, like sacrifice.
Wait, so you only had a shower twice a week?
Twice a week, one on the weekend. Like when I was on Supermax for a year and a half, and that's 23 and one. So yeah, it was you shower Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then you shower Saturdays.
All right.
Other than that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But damn, locked in a cell, 23, only 45 minutes outside a day.
Yeah. That shit was crazy, man.
Do you know what is actually crazy? There will be people who are alive right now, not in prison, who choose not to go outside.
Yeah. But they shit different, I feel like, because it be more of like fear, man. Like fear controls a lot of shit. And
But that's what I find interesting is like every day, I'm sure you wished you could go outside for longer. I'm sure you'd love the fresh air. And then there are people who are in the same, but they put themselves in the same boat. And it's like, some people work a 9 to 5, or they work an office job and they're in the office every day and they don't go outside until they're finished work, and the sun is down. They never see the sun. Like, it is weird that, like, I feel like everyone in a weird way is in a different prison. Like, there is a different rule. Like you said, when you came out, the change was now everyone relies on you. So you have to hustle because you have people relying on you. It's a different challenge. It's like you have different chains in the strangest way.
True. And yeah, but you have to remember this, like them other people out there that's working a 9 to 5 in the cubicles or staying at the house locked in, like that shit is choice. That's free willingly though. It's a difference. They choose to do that. You feel me? Like I wasn't choosing to stay 23 and 1. I ain't had no choice. I had to do that shit. So like even with them, like yeah, we might look at it and be like they're not taking advantage of life or this, that, and the other, but we really can't even say that because they're doing something that they're choosing to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want to do. So it wasn't like they was forced to do that or had to do that. I had to do that. So it was different.
Well, I think some people are forced to do it.
Some people, or is it that they feel like they forced to do it?
Well, that's actually true. They definitely feel like they're forced to do it, because I thought the other day, what if I quit making money? I just stopped everything that makes money, and I just stopped. I go in my car and I drive. I buy some camping gear and I just go into camp and I just live out in the bush and I go off the grid. And I just thought about it and I wondered, maybe I would be happier if I got rid of all my shit. I stopped doing this. I stopped all that. And I move and I just buy one-way ticket and I live and I go to like Jamaica, a place I've never been before. And I just go and I just live there and I find someone that I'm happy to like, I fall in love and whatever. And would that be enough? And it's like this weird thought of I could do it all, but I don't.
It
So
still wouldn't be enough.
what makes you say that?
It's like it's something within us that shit, it would never be enough. It would never be enough. It's always gonna be something in us that's gonna always want a little bit more, no matter what it is. It's whatever, like whatever fits you or is meant to be for you, you're gonna always crave that. If you're truly passionate about something. Like with me, it's music. It would never be enough music for me. I could never turn it off.
Yeah, I think it's like this alternate world where like, what if I could? Like, what if I could? Would I ultimately be happier than because the grind of like it's never enough is difficult because
It
it
is.
never ends.
It never ends. And it's a battle because it's gonna cause struggle shit, it's gonna cause risk taking, it's gonna cause chances just within and but it's worth it. In my eyes, it's worth it. Like to be standing there like, okay, in the sports game, to be standing there at the end of the game with that trophy or that award, it's worth it. That's what it's about. That's what we put in the hard work for. No matter if you're working a 9 to 5 or not, or if you out here in the streets or whatever the case may be, that's what you're doing it for. You're doing it for a reason to get rewarded in something that you truly love doing. So let's rock out. We're gonna do that shit. You know?
But here's the thing: even if you win the trophy, that's never going to be enough.
It ain't.
That's it's a privilege and it's a curse because it's like I think about that trophy because I never got it, and as soon as I get it, I'm like, all right, tick, I done it. Next goal. Now it's like, can I go 2, 3, 4? Can I be the best there ever was? Like I look at LeBron, and I'm like, he is privileged and cursed at the same time because he's cursed by his ambition. Same as Tom Brady. Like they just cannot switch it off. It doesn't matter how much success they have. Like Tom Brady retired how many times? Twice now. He's retired the third time. Everyone's like, is this going to be the last time or is he going to come back? I think that's a lot with athletes. It's a lot with musicians. I mean, the irony is how many rappers claim to retire and come back a year later.
That's true. It's just that's like you said, it's a blessing and a curse. Because at the same time, look at everything that you're accomplishing. You pushing yourself to even go harder. Now you, like you said, you done got one, but now you thinking, well, let me get 2, 3, 4. At first you was only thinking, let me get one. So look at everything you gaining. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at, like you said, it's a balance. Where we started the conversation at, it's the balance. It's the pros and the cons.
Is it difficult for people around you to see it? That like you're always going to be torturing yourself? It's like an exercise in self-torture that it's like, I did this achievement, awesome, but like, all right, now I got to do the next one. It's like the next one. Is it difficult for people to just see you go through it day in, day out?
Yeah, it's like that saying where they be like, you might be standing on the outside looking in or looking in from the outside, something like that. But yeah, it's hard for them to see it. Like it's more easier for us because we the ones that believe it. Like we the ones that want it. So it's never gonna be easy for the next person to want your dream as much as you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's your dream. They might have their own dream. And you might not even want their dream for them as much as they want it for them. But like, it's just, that's a part of the torture. Loved ones not understanding why you did this or why you did that, or You know, your girl might not understand why groupies around. That's just a part of torture. Like that's a part of it.
How do you navigate that of like, having fans, of having people around you that aren't necessarily, as you said, supportive of you and your girl, and how is that whole dynamic?
Uh, like with me, I'm very like now I'm very like introverted. Like I'm not big on the whole let's be big friends, and I don't do that. You know, I'm more involved with my daughter daily. You know, so I'm very introverted. I'm big on family, so like I don't know. People I run off of vibes also. If I get a bad vibe or a bad feeling towards someone, then instantly I'm gonna cut it off. I'm not even gonna entertain it. You know, I'm not gonna build a relationship on none of that because this is what my gut telling me, my spirit telling me like, hey, this is bad vibe, so I ain't gonna go with it. But if it is close loved ones that don't understand or don't see what I'm trying to do, um, 9 times out of 10, I just tell them how it is straight up and what I'm trying to do. And people know that I'm passionate about my music, say for instance. So they don't question that as much. Like when you do something, it's all about actions. Like when you like your actions speak louder than words. I feel like people gonna see what you're doing. People watch, so they'll know when you're serious about something or when you're not. Like I said, I just tell them straight up. And if they have a problem with it, then they can remove themselves because it never was relevant for me in the first place.
Well, that's good, man. Like, I think I like, what can I say? I think it's good to have, the people you want around you and be able to draw the line of like, hey, I'm just telling you how I'm going to do it. I'm telling you how it works. Whether you're in for it or you're not, that's up to you at the end of the day. And I mean, whether they're happy or not, they have to respect it at some point.
Yeah, that's like bottom line. That's what it comes down to is why would I lie to you? And then later on you find out the lie and then you're gonna look at me differently or your trust is broken now when I could just tell you the truth. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But at the end of the day, I told you the truth, so you have to respect it. And that's just that comes with just having peace with yourself though, for it, for it. So
Okay, this is completely side note, but have you seen a lot of people who claim to tell the truth but are just assholes? Like, there are people I meet and they're like, "Hey, I just tell her how it is," and I'm like, "No, you're just an asshole. Like, you're just being
yeah,
a dickhead."
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
and I think there's a difference between like being honest and being kind. Like, just because you're honest doesn't mean you have to be like a douchebag all the time. Like, I think
yeah,
there's a difference between the two, but I see it all the time. People claiming to be honest, but they're just horrendous people.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I seen it as well. See it a lot. Yeah, a lot of people out here just be trying to be, like you said, assholes, but it's a difference. Like you said, telling the truth. You don't have to be harsh telling the truth. You can tell the truth in a meaningful way, a niceful way, or whatever. But like you said, it's a lot of people out here try to use that shit to their advantage, and then that shit cause other issues.
Yeah, I think it's almost not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
man, you got a bad tone. Like, why are you talking, like, why are you not speaking with respect? Like, I've never understood that people can't have conversations where it's like, hey, I may disagree with you, but at the end of the day, hey, we're still friends. Or, hey, just because I disagree doesn't mean I can't like you. It's like this weird world we live in where if you and I disagree, that's it. We're not friends. We
yeah, I
can't
don't
we
understand
can't
that
hang
shit.
out because we disagree about anything.
Yeah, like I don't base my friendship off of that because at the end of the day, if I fuck up, I want you to tell me, hey, bro, you fucked up. like you doing wrong right there. You slipping. Like, let me know. I don't want no yes mans with me. I don't want no yes sirs, no ass kissers. I don't want none of that. So like, I don't get that shit because if we got a disagreement, that's cool. Me and you could be as best as friends, and we can have a disagreement, and we can still be cool. I can still turn around and shake your hand, bro. I don't want to fight you. None of that. Like, we disagreeing about something, obviously, we both have two mixed emotions on the situation. So we talking it out like, man, instead of like you said, now we into it. Nah, we ain't gotta do that shit. That's how a lot of people fuck up their business and money and opportunity and all type of shit.
Have you cut people off because of that? Because of their behavior, because of the way that they act around you, or just act in general?
So I really don't cut nobody off. Like 9 times out of 10, people cut themselves off. If you keep people around long enough, they gonna show their own hand. And then if you don't like what they showing you, then it's either the situation done with, but it ain't necessarily cutting off. It's just like I said, 9 times out of 10, people gonna show you their own hand for real, for real. And hell yeah, if you're doing some shit I don't agree with, hell yeah, you can cut off. I goddamn block your ass real quick.
Yeah, I think it's like, do you feel guilt at all, or do you, now you've done it enough to be like, hey, it's just the same repetitive, but like I'm sure the first time it's like there's someone who is like your friend, and then you feel guilty. You're like, you second guess yourself, like you question it.
Yeah, of course. Especially if it's somebody that's close or means something to you. But like I said, the older you get, man, you start to realize, like, bro, you only get one life. I ain't wasting no time with mine. If you cross me, you fucked up. You did something, so now you gotta deal with that shit. I can't waste my time feeling sorry for somebody else. I got my whole little girl I gotta raise, man. Can't do it.
How is it being a
Especially,
father?
that's great. Not to cut you off, but I think that's probably what I needed the most out of life was the experience this being a father, bro. Like that shit opened my mind so much. And then she a girl, and it's like the love for a little girl and her father, like that shit just mind blowing. It's crazy. It's amazing for real.
Can I just say, it's amazing to see, as soon as I asked, the smile that came on your face.
I appreciate
It's like
it.
just straight away, just like
Yeah.
it changed. Like we were talking about, friends who let you down, and then the transition and the smile just bang came back. So
Yeah, like that's a blessing for real, for real. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain that feeling though.
yeah, because I don't have kids of my own, so I think it's it's interesting looking at people who like they're going down a path and then they become a parent, and then just it's like the light bulb goes off, where it's like I see the world differently to what it was before.
Yeah, yeah. I do like I just don't take shit for granted. It's like with me, it's more the fact that I gotta make a way for her now. So like I can't take anything for granted. Like and I can't be the type that's allowing fear to interfere with anything I got going on with the music too, because I'm a father figure. You feel me? So like my little daughter, how can I go to my little daughter and be like, oh, I ain't dropped the album. Why you ain't dropped the album, Day? Cause I was scared. The hell you mean you scared? Like I can't do that, you feel me? Like she gonna look at me as her savior, as like her protector, so I have to stand in shit that I believe now for a fact and a purpose for real, just because of her. how can I tell her, hey, go do this, go do that, or live like this and live like that if I'm not teaching it? You know, if I ain't standing by her. And she fucking loves music to death. Like I know she gonna have something to do with music. You know?
Can you just see the way she is with music? Like, what do you see with her and the music, and how do you notice?
It's like, okay, for one, she a busybody. So she's very energetic. Like as soon as she wake up, she like me. As soon as them eyes open, she like, what is there to do? The only thing that calms this little girl down, and I swear, is is this YouTube video called Miss Rachel, the little lady on there, and my videos. Now, when you put my music videos on, she froze, like locked into the TV. You can go and slap her face. She ain't gonna move or nothing. She just locked into the TV. That's the only thing that gets her full attention. It's music. So I know. And I used to be the same way when I was little. So I know, like, yeah, she gonna have something to do with music.
Is she starting to talk, or is she's still too young?
She just turned 1 on the 9th of January. So she make noise. Like she say dada and she say mama. Um, she talking baby language. She be singing sometime, but it's like the words ain't fully developed yet. So,
Yeah. Do you get the feeling that she's going to be a chatterbox? Like she's just gonna talk and talk and talk?
she probably is. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably be like she probably be like a grandma.
It's funny. I used to be a swim teacher. I used to teach kids how to swim. That was like my first job. And I remember there were some kids are like very introverted, very quiet. And there are some kids where like, man, I swear to God, they spoke underwater. Like it is crazy. Like they would just talk at me. And then I would be like, okay, let's go. And I'd put them on their stomach. And then I'd talk. And it would be like they never breathed. They just kept speaking. And I was like, I'm a good talker, but goddamn, like,
Oh, that's real.
I don't get how your parents deal with this, because it's like incessant. It's like for 30 minutes nonstop chit chat, and it's nonsensical, obviously. But yeah, it's so funny to see the differences in kids. So tell me about 2023. Like when you started the year, you came out the year, your baby girl turns 1, you're dropping projects. Like, what's the vision for the full year?
The full year is just to stay stay consistent, stay in their faces. Like I said, we got a 16 project, so visuals off the project will be coming this year. We'll be at South by Southwest as well this year. Still pushing the single murder this year, getting good feedback. A lot of commotion stirring up about it, so we're gonna still push that. But like I said, new content, new videos, new releases coming soon. Just stay tuned, like stay plugged in, because we're finna turn up all the way.
Do you have a vision for another album that you're gonna drop? Like, what's the plan on that front?
Uh, kind of like I want to, but then again, I'm I'm still trying to see, like, because everything's been going like good, like number wise, for the Forever album and the Murder video / single release. So I don't want to overload the people right away too much, or I don't want to sit and stall. So I'm still trying to see, still trying to get a feeling, but I already got a couple projects lined up that's in store. So yeah.
Well, what's your vision on dropping projects? Because like I've spoken to a lot of artists about like what's the right number over a period of time. What's like the right thing to do? I spoke to La Russell. He dropped like 6 projects one year, and I was like, man, that is so many projects to release. And then I've got others who like take 2 years to release a project. But what's your general thought process on when you see people release it and how frequently?
Like my general thought, basically, like it all depends on your status, like where you at in your career. Like locally, I feel like you should give them as much as you have. Uh, Hit them back to back. Stay in their face with it because you're trying to get their attention. But like if you're already in a game, then you could pace yourself if you want to as well. So like I feel like me, give them as much as I can, and that's basically what we're gonna do this year. Just continue to drop as much as I can. And I got a lot of shit, so y'all gonna be seeing me a lot.
That is a good problem to have, that you got a lot of songs. Like as we said, and you're always creating. I mean, who knows? By the end of the year, you'll probably have close to a thousand songs.
No, I ain't gonna say 1,000, but
Well, two a day. You've been saying two a day, 300 days,
2 to 3.
100 songs.
I got already like 300 to 500 unreleased, and I record 2 or 3. I'm here for the record now. As soon as we get done, so yeah.
So you could end up with, I feel like, to be honest, I don't know how you wouldn't lose songs in there. Like, I'm sure there are songs like, oh yeah, I forgot about that shit. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's a lot of shit like that in there though. It's a lot of songs like that that's not finished. It's a lot that might just have a hook. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say I got that many that's unreleased, I don't mean they all finished or all ready to go. Like no, hell no. But is they either got started, didn't get finished, or they're finished.
And how did you find making your album? Like, are you a fan of like the conceptual piece of like there is a story and there is like a narrative to it?
Like I ain't gonna like shit. How I make my albums and music is more of it's down there like uh like I go off of feeling. So it's down there like a season. Like it's gonna be a narrative to it, but I'm not sitting here actually having a drawing board for it. Like I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm a get the music, I'm gonna record the music, and then as I sit back, I'll probably put shit together. I'm like, hey, that goes good with that, and then send that shit out like that. But I'm not sitting here like, okay, we're gonna go one song and call it this, and it's gonna talk about this. No, hell no. I'm just going off all feeling and emotions.
Do you feel like that stifles your creativity when you plan it too much?
Yeah, hell yeah. Because that's the thing about being creative. It's like creating is an emotion. It's a feeling. It's an expression. It's you know what I'm saying, like you having adrenaline rush type stuff. So I feel like it's something that you should just do. You shouldn't have to force it. You shouldn't have to plan it. None of that shit. Like it's a feeling, bro. You should just be able to do that shit. Mm, that's how I create. It's just what I'm feeling at that moment. Mm.
Yeah. It's interesting hearing different people's process of like how they get it done, because definitely there's a lot of people as well who are like, yeah man, I like a conceptual project, like I like the idea of a story and I can plan it out and be like, these are the tracks, and like a loose version. Obviously they still need to create the music, but yeah, it is interesting that some people can definitely just get like this whole, it's like a book into an album, and whether they plan it out or maybe it organically happens that way, is a different question.
Yeah. But I don't know, like luckily it came out the way that it came out, but it most definitely wasn't planned. Like I said, it's just going off of emotion and feelings.
Well, man, I only have one more question for you, and it's probably going to be the hardest question I've asked you. I've asked you some tough ones. It's the only question that I plan on the show. So I think arguably it's my best one. But if you had to recommend one album that everybody should listen to at least once to get an appreciation of, can be any genre of music, cannot be your own music, what would it be?
It can't be my own music.
Oh man, you and I both know rappers well enough to know that
yeah,
every single rapper, if I was like, hey, tell me about a project, everyone should, they're like, yeah, listen to my own. We're going to play your stuff, man. You're on the show. So, but that's why it's a good question, because we can't plug ourselves.
I say, what's that one album? I'd probably say, I don't know, I'd probably say Future, the Dirty Sprite mixtape.
You know, you're the first one to mention Future as an answer.
Yeah, yeah, Future. That's my dog, man. I fuck with Future the long way. Yeah.
What was it about that project? Like, why that project in particular?
Man, he was in mode. Like you could tell that he was fresh from that fire, that struggle. Like he was on go. He was at one with himself. Like he turned up, lit. Every song was riding. He created a whole new wave at that moment. You feel me? And he took over and he stayed on top of his shit then. Like, he was dropping like crazy and that shit was fire.
Yeah. And one of the people who changed the game, obviously. Like, you know, how many people modeled themselves after Future and what he was able to do?
Yeah. He really, like, real deal legend for real. For real.
Yeah. It's interesting thinking about the legacy of people like Future, Young Thug, like those artists.
Thug too. Like, hell yeah. Thug most definitely is a wave changer. Like, he came in and goddamn went crazy. Game went crazy for him, bro. Yeah, legend as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to agree. And there's something they did something different. I think that's ultimately what it is to be an artist, is like to, as you said, stick to yourself, do something different, be honest to your truth. And that leads me into, obviously, the one and only Sosatruu came through. He is a fantastic artist. Make sure you check him out. You got him on Spotify, Apple Music as well, YouTube videos for sure. The visuals are really cool, man. You can tell you put in a lot of time to those visuals. And you can also see him on IG at Sosatruu as well. But man, is there anything you wanted to plug? Anything you wanted to shout out? Obviously, you've got your album as well and your single that just came out, Murder.
Yeah, single Murder, album Forever. Just, I said, go tap in IG, TikTok, Sosatruu. That's Sosatruu. New visuals coming soon. Thank you for having me. Shout out to my boy T, Cold Hearted C, man, the whole Cold Hearted movement. It's forever, gang. We're here.
Awesome, man. My pleasure.